Hi everyone, Alex here. Today I'm going to show you what's new in WarpFusion version 0.27, so let's go. First of all, I've collapsed the installation cells into one because people were not running the first cell for some reason. Probably because they were running locally and thought they didn't have Google Drive. If I don't run the first cell and then run the next cell, I'll get an error. The error says, check execution is not defined, because it's defined in the very first cell. If I run this cell and then run the next cell, everything is going to be fine. But if I don't run this cell and skip right to the next one, I will get an error, which says, run the video settings cell. So keep in mind that you have to run all cells consecutively during the initial run. And after that, if you change a cell input, you will need to rerun it and all the cells below. We are going to use SDXL model now with a custom VAE, which will allow me to disable the no-half VAE option. I'm using only soft edge ControlNet model here, so let's see how it goes. I've cut out the part where I've run the render with the default settings and it gave me a bad result. I've loaded a settings file and continued the run. Here, let me show you how to compare the settings files to see what's the difference between the initial failed run and the current one. Let's check the output frames with soft edge ControlNet only. Let's open those images in separate tabs to compare later. Let's enable the Inpainting ControlNet. I'll set a lower weight, otherwise the effect may be too strong and look overcooked. As you can see, it will automatically download the ControlNet if it's missing from the ControlNet folder. I will pause the video and come back when it's finished. Okay, the render is finished. Let's check the results. As you can see, the transition is much more subtle. Let's check the result without Inpainting ControlNet again. Let's talk about the new features in AnimateDiff mode. The first thing is that you can now use your custom motion models. If you leave the text field blank, it will use the default 1.5 v2 model. As you can see, we are having this error, which is caused by running AnimateDiff after previously running SDXL. We need to restart the environment to proceed. It's loading the default AnimateDiff model. For example, if I put some gibberish here, it will roll back to the default model. I'll clear those settings to be sure the UI has its default values. The new thing here is the scene splitter. It allows you to split your whole video into smaller scenes, which will not interact with each other and be rendered like completely separate runs, but under the same run number, so they can still be exported as a single video. This option enables manual splitting. You can put a list of keyframes here. The whole video will be split at these keyframes. The specified keyframe will be the end frame of a scene. If you have used the content-aware scheduling feature and have already calculated the frame difference, you can disable manual splitting and set a threshold, which will split the video into scenes where frame difference is above the threshold. I will be using manual splitting in this example. I'll set the keyframes to 20, 50, 80. Then I'll set the range to 100. So, as you can see, it's splitting 100 frames into these scenes. The keyframe is the frame at which the scene will end. Now it will run 4 separate runs and save them under the same run number, so it can be exported as a single video. The next thing is multiple prompts and prompt blending. You can just use multiple prompts like in non-AnimateDiff mode and it'll work. This setting enables prompts to be blended right after the clip text encoder before the diffusion process. It is much faster and provides similar results when we are not using masks. There's a little tool here, Prompt Blender, which allows you to smoothly interpolate between a list of prompts. For example, if I have prompts A, B, C, and I'd like for each prompt to be rendered unchanged for 10 frames, and I'd like to have a smooth transition from prompt A to prompt B for 50 frames. So when I run this cell, I get a ready-to-go prompt that I can just directly paste into the prompt text box. So, it will render prompt A for 10 frames. Then it will transition to prompt B for 50 frames. Then it will remove prompt A and add prompt C with 0 weight. Render prompt B for 10 frames, and then transition to prompt C for 50 frames, and so on. So, I hope you're all caught up on the new features in WarpFusion 0.27. You can always check the detailed changelog on Discord. If you'd like to see more changelog explanatory videos like this, don't forget to like and comment. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.